make me lose my mind like all the time. It still feels right. Stuck in an endless fight like every night. It still feels right.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. This is Bruna and today we are going to be learning how to crochet the matching triangle for my previous video where I showed you how to crochet a simple granny square. I'm going to be doing a couple of tutorials, a couple of projects using these granny squares that I showed you. I showed you how to do the colorful and the one color one. So I wanted to show you as well how to make the matching triangle because I am going to be using the matching triangle for some of my tutorials here that I'm going to be bringing you using these two. And I also wanted to do in a separate video so that you can come back to these videos if you need to learn how to make them again, or you need a reminder on how to crochet them. I also have another square on my channel as well, so I'll link that in the description if you want to learn another granny square that it's a little bit more covered. It doesn't have a lot of gaps like this one, so do check that one as well if you want to learn that one too. And today I'm going to show you how to crochet the matching triangles. So I also have here the colorful one and the one color one, because then you can learn both of them if you want to do the project that is coming up in one color or colorful, so you know exactly how to do both of them. So yeah, this is what we are going to be crocheting today's video. So now let's talk about the materials we are going to be using. So first we have the DK yarns. You want to use the same yarn as you have used to crochet your squares. So I'm using here DK yarns. They are just in a different shade, but they are all DK. And then to crochet my one color triangle, I'm using this yarn here, which is a number 2, a sports weight yarn. And for the tools, I'm using a 4mm hook, a tapestry needle, a small pair of scissors, and a measuring tape, just to measure the triangle for you so you know the sizing that we are doing in today's video. And before we move on into today's tutorial, I would like to introduce to you guys to today's video sponsor, Skillshare. I have used Skillshare for a couple of years now, and every week I am learning something new. I am someone that loves learning new things every day, so Skillshare helps me a lot in that part of my life. If you haven't heard about Skillshare before, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands and thousands of classes that includes a combination of video lessons and class projects on topics including illustration, art, design, marketing, photography, video editing, freelancing, crafts, including crochet as well. They have a lot of classes about crochet and even more. So no matter what your interests are, you will definitely find something different and fun to learn on Skillshare. So currently I am taking a few classes to improve my Instagram skills, mainly to improve when taking pictures and learn a little bit more about Instagram engagement and the algorithm that it's so hard to learn. So I wanted to learn more about these topics so that we can grow a little bit more on Instagram and understand a little bit more how all this works. And the class that I'm taking right now, it's called Finding Instagram Success, Build an Account People Care About by Taylor Lauren. This class is very, very interesting and it's all about building an Instagram presence that embodies your whole self and attracts followers who genuinely cares about you and also your content, which is so important when building a community. And what I love about this class is that she also helps you to remove that pressure of being perfect, and she reframes Instagram as a tool of achieving your personal vision and success that you want to achieve with your Instagram. So basically, she helps you to understand a little bit more on how you're gonna get your goals and transforming into a successful community on Instagram, which is so interesting. She also gives some tips on how to create a one-of-a-kind account that it's worth the follow, and with that she also helps us to build a community that cares about you and your content, which is our goal, right, with Instagram. So it's a very interesting class. I am loving it so far, especially because we learn a little bit more about Instagram and how Instagram work, and also we get inspired by everything that she explains, and also we are basically after finishing her class, we are probably going to be able to post even more engaging content and build our successful community, which is what we want, right? So I really recommend this class, so feel free to check that out. So if you are interested, Skillshare, it's very affordable. It's less than $10 a month with the annual subscription, especially when you compare taking in-person classes for one topic. With Skillshare, you don't have to stick to one class. You get unlimited access to all the classes that you can switch to any subject you want at any time. And because the Skillshare is sponsoring today's video with the link in the description, the first 1,000 of you who clicks in the link will get a free trial of the premium membership. So how exciting is that? So you can explore your creativity, learn new things, and get inspired just like me. So feel free to check it out. I really recommend it. I'll link that in the very first line of my description, so feel free to check it out. So thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring today's video. So now let's get on with today's video and let's start this amazing little triangle right here. So first I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the colorful one, and I'm starting right here with this beautiful purple. And to begin, you're going to get the yarn, and we are going to be creating a magic ring. You can do as you want. This is how I do mine. Just like this. Once you have your magic circle, we are going to be now here chaining 4. So 2, 3, and 4. And then around the magic circle, we are going to be creating first 3 double crochets, and then a chain of 2 and 3 double crochets, so we have the 3 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 1 so that we create this little chain here. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to be creating a double crochet. By creating this here at the end is going to be the same as the beginning right here. And all you have to do now is to close the magic circle by pulling this yarn, and then we are going to chain 1 and we can fasten off. This is the very first row. So I cut my yarn, I pull the yarn just like this and give it a tug to fasten off. So this is the very first row completed. So now I'm going to be choosing the next shade. I think I'm going to be doing with this mint one right here. So now we have to create a slip knot. And then we are going to be attaching our yarn on the right side of the triangle. So here we have the reverse and here we have the right side. The right side is where you have the yarn here to the left, and then you have the chain here on the right. So we are going to be attaching it right here on top of the chain 3. So we have the chain 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one right here. So right on top of the chain 3, we are going to be inserting the hook right here, and then we are going to pull up a loop, and we are going to be creating a single crochet. So that's how I attach my yarn in place. And then I'm going to be chaining 3. So now we are going to be creating 3 double crochets inside this little gap we have right here, right on top of the chain 1. We are going to be doing the same here at the beginning and at the end. So 3 double crochets going around this very first little gap right here. So once you have something like this, we are going to be chaining 1, and now we are going to move on to the top of the triangle. So right here where we have the chain 2 space, we are going to go around this, and we are going to be creating basically the corner of the square. I'm going to show you this corner here. but we are going to be creating right on top of the triangle. So we are going to be creating 3 double crochets, a chain of 2, and 3 double crochets, all in that same chain 2 space, which is basically what we have created here into the very first row. I call that a shell or a corner. There we go. That's basically the top of the triangle completed. So now we have to chain 1, and then we are going to move on into the end right here where we have the chain 1, this little space, and then going around that we are going to be creating 3 double crochets. So all we have to do now, to be the same as the beginning right here, we have to chain 1, we have to find the last double crochet. You're gonna go right on top, you're going to be inserting your hook right on top, as you can see, and then right here we are going to be creating our last double crochet. So that's the second row completed. Now we can chain 1 and fasten off and choose the next color. I'm going to be doing this pink here. So go ahead and do your slip knot. And we are going to be attaching exactly the same as we did here to the second row. So right where we have the chain, now here for this row we have the attaching of the yarn. So we have the single crochets and 3 chains. So you're going to be skipping the single crochet, and then you're going to be counting here 1, 2. Into this second chain we are going to be attaching the next color. So we still have 1 chain, which is for the space here in between the chain and the double crochet, which is exactly the same here at the end. Skip, single crochet, count 1 into the second chain. We are going to be attaching the next color with a single crochet. We are going to chain 3, and now we can follow the pattern. So right into this very first space that we have, we are going to be creating 3 double crochets. So now you're going to chain 1. We are always going to be chaining 1 every time we finish something that we are doing. So chain 1. Now we have a new space in between the shells here. So right on top of this space, we are going to be creating 3 double crochets. Chain 1. By chaining 1, it increases the amount of spaces that we have right here, exactly the same as we did with this square. So chain 1. Now we're gonna go right on top of the triangle, and then right here on top we are going to be creating our shell. So 3 double crochets, a chain of 2, and 3 double crochets, all into the same chain 2 space. So now we can just repeat the same as we did here on this side. So we are going to chain 1, find the next space available, and then you're going to be creating 3 double crochets. Chain 1, find the last space, and then you're going to be creating 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and then right on top of the double crochet right here, we are going to be creating our last double crochet. So now we can fasten off. So chain 1, fasten off, and choose the next color. I'm doing this blue one. I love this blue so much. And we are repeating exactly the same steps as the previous row. Now we have more spaces in between the shells. So exactly the same. you're going to be finding the chain here at the beginning, skipping single crochet, count 1 into the second chain. You're going to be attaching the new shade, leaving 1 chain here to create the first 3 double crochets. Then we are going to chain 3 and then go right into the very first space and create 3 double crochets. Also remember that we are always going to be crocheting the new row on the right side of the project. We are never going to be turning and crocheting where we fasten off. We are always going to be attaching the new yarn right here on top of the chain. Okay? Just so you know that. This is very, very important to keep your triangle nice and pretty, because all the right sides will be on the right side. So chain 1, and then we are going to be continuing the pattern. So we are going to be creating here 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then shell on top of shell. The 3 double crochets, a chain of 2 and 3 double crochets. There we go. So now you're going to chain 1 and then continue the pattern all the way down. So I'm going to be doing here, continuing my pattern, and then I'll meet you right at the end. So when you get at the end, it's exactly the same. You're going to chain 1 and create your last double crochet on top of the previous double crochet. Now we can chain 1, fasten off, and bring the last color. So my last shade will be this super, super pretty pale pink. So create your slip knot, attach it in place, and start the new row, which is the last one. So now I'm just going to be continuing the pattern and creating this last row here. I'm going to time lapse this one for you, and then I'll meet you right at the end. So once you've done the last row, I have 5 rows here in total, we are going to chain 1, cut the yarn and fasten off, and now we can weave in. So I'm going to show you how to weave our ends in. So this is how the triangle will look once you have it completed, all the rows completed. You will have all the ends here at the bottom, and I have here the right side of my triangle. And to do the weave-ins, you want to turn on the reverse, that you can clearly see that this is the reverse because it looks like the reverse of the stitch. I'm going to be doing the middle here with you, and then you can do the rest, which is the same. So I'm gonna first choose this one in the middle. I'm going to be using my tapestry needle, so you want to thread this yarn into your tapestry needle, and then all you have to do is to go through a couple of stitches going in, just like this, and then you just want to skip the last one, and then you want to go through some more stitches going the other way, and then you're going to be skipping that very first one and choose some other stitches going back, and then make it nice and tight, and now you can cut your yarn. That's all you have to do. Super, super simple to weave in. With this one here, you're going to be doing exactly the same. So what I like to do, I like to go through a couple of stitches, grabbing here the next shade, the next row, go back and forth, following the same steps as we did here. Remember to skip one little stitch because that locks the yarn in place. Just like this. And then you can do 3-4 times, as many times as you want, until you feel like it's secured enough. Sometimes I do 3 times, sometimes I do even 5 times. It just depends. So that's how you weave in. So now I'm just going to weave in all of the rest here of my yarns, and then I will be back to show you how it looks like. So here we have the colorful triangle completed. Here is the right side and here is the reverse. So now what we are going to be doing is learning how to crochet the same triangle using one shade only throughout the entire triangle. So I'm going to be using this yarn here, and it's super simple. The one color triangles are using the same steps as we did here with the colorful. The only thing that changes are the end and the beginning of the triangle here where we go into the next row. So that's the only thing that is going to change. The rest is exactly the same. So the first thing that we have to do is to crochet the very beginning, the very first row, exactly as we did for here the colorful triangle. So I've done that already, as you can see. Here we have the very first row following the same steps. So to go into the second row, all we have to do is to chain 4. So 2, 3, 4. And then we are going to be turning our project. So now for the one color triangles, we have to turn on the reverse of the triangle. And then from here, it's following the same steps as we did for the colorful one. So go into the very first space, chain 1 space, and then we are going to be creating 3 double crochets here at the beginning, right on top of that space. And then we are going to chain 1, and right here on top of the triangle, right on top of the chain 2 space, we are going to be creating the shell. So 3 double crochets, a chain of 2, and 3 double crochets. Once you've done the top here, you're going to chain 1, and then you're gonna go right in between the double crochet and the chain here. So you're gonna go right in between, right on top of the chain 1, we have a chain of 4 here, right on top of that space, and then you're going to be creating 3 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 1. You're going to just pull a little bit here the chain to release and to review all the chains that we have, and then you're going to be counting 1, 2, right on top of the chain 3. We are going to be creating our last double crochet. So that's all you have to do. So now let's do row number 3 together so you get the hang of it. So first we are going to chain 4, and then you're going to be turning the triangle. So now we have the right side of the triangle facing us. So as you can see, this is the right side here. And then we are going to be repeating the same steps all the way around. So I'm going to be doing here the third row, as you already know how to do it, and then I'll meet you right at the end. So when you get here at the end, you will find the chain 4. So right inside of this little gap, we are going to be doing 3 double crochets, and then we are going to chain 1, and right on top of the chain 3, so you're going to be counting 1, 2, and 3. Right on top of the chain 3, we are going to be creating the last double crochet. So that's all you have to do to crochet a one color triangle. So now I'm going to stop right here because you just have to keep repeating the same steps until you have the amount of rows you want. So all you have to do is to chain 1, cut the yarn, and fasten off once you have the amount of rows you want. For this one, I've done 5 rows, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And for this one, I've done 3, just to show you the little trick you have to do to move on into the next row. For these ones here, they don't really have a right or a wrong side because you are turning the triangle, but I try my best to have this very first row here faced on the right side. You can see here, you can see a beautiful stitch you can see that this is the right side, and if you turn this way, you can see the back of the stitch. So I always try to have the triangle here on this side. So I use the very first row to guide me to see which one is the right side and which one is the reverse. And to weave in is the same way as I showed you with the colorful granny triangle. I was going to say granny square. So I'm just gonna go ahead and weave this one in, and we are done with our triangles. How fun! Super, super quick. I love, love, love making them so much. So we are done. Look at all this. So that's how you crochet a granny triangle matching the square that I've showed you in my previous video that will be linked in the description below. So yeah, everyone, that's how you crochet a granny triangle. How fun! Oh my god, I'm super excited. And I cannot wait to share with you what I'm going to be doing for my next video using these triangles and also the squares that I have completed. I have to do more triangles, but I will explain to you in my next video how many you will need. And before I go, I just want to measure the triangle for you. So if I measure it like this, it's 15 centimeters, and the other way it's 8 centimeters. All right, so that's the sizing of our triangle, and it's exactly the same as our square. It's the same size, like this, half of the square basically. So thank you everyone for sticking out until the end. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments how it was for you to follow today's video. Also let me know the colors that you have used and that you are going to be using to crochet your squares and triangles for maybe the next video, we never know. So do practice your little triangles and also the squares for the next video that I'm super excited to share with you. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and you also have been asking me a lot to do one, so I'm pretty excited. It's a secret, I'm not gonna tell you right now, because if I keep talking I'll probably just tell you what it is, but I'm not, I promise. So thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to leave your massive thumbs up as you always do. Also don't forget to subscribe and to turn on the little notification icon to receive a notification every time I post a new video. So thank you again everyone for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.